Hi guys, so I want to tell you a little story. Think about this, picture this in your mind. From as young as 10 years old, the female of this species starts to bleed. And they don't know why. That is the average woman's introduction into her menses, her period, her monthly flow, her menstruation, whatever it is they called it. When they finally told you about it, that's the introduction. And from that moment, young girls and women are told that they should hide. Cover it up. Don't touch anybody. If you touch them now, you'll be pregnant. Pregnant. Some girls are laughed at. Some are ridiculed. A number are stigmatized. A number of women are stigmatized. And sometimes, a lot of the time, just outright shamed. Imagine being shamed about something that you have no control over. Just imagine that. So over the years, what has happened is that a lot of women, while they recognize the importance of the period, their menses, oh my gosh, it's great, it means I'm fertile, yada, yada, yada. A lot of women and girls also associate this time of the month with a lot of stress, a lot of distress, a lot of shame. And while all this is happening, we're supposed to not talk about it in the presence of men, which means that half the population growing up are largely ignorant about what the other half is going through. Make it make sense. So I'm sitting here today talking in this video for two main reasons. One, I want to help to educate all of us about the very many and myriad ways that menstrual health and menstrual hygiene affects women and the society at large. And the second thing I want to do with this video is to also let you know what you can expect from me and my platforms going forward, because I will be talking bloody talk henceforth. So I want you all to get real comfortable with it, and I will be asking you to join me. But first, who am I? For those of you who don't know, allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm known as Folu Storms. And today, whether you like it or not, I'm going to be talking about periods. Period, please. Okay, no. A proper introduction as to who I am. I am known as Folu Storms, and I am an actor, I'm a presenter, I'm a host, a voiceover artist, a communications consultant, a media consultant. I am a lover of all things African. I am big into wellness. I love to travel, and I just love life. Now, over the last 10 plus years or so, I've been growing my career within the creative economy on the African continent, and now, of course, going global because your girl's gonna do it. Please book me, folustorms.com. But for the better part of that decade, I have actually been in acclaimed TV shows. I have been in award-winning films. I have traveled the world, and while I've been doing all of this, the main thing I've been doing is trying to find balance through everything. And then 3 years ago, COVID-19 hit and it changed the world. The world literally stopped. It was at that time that I began to take a closer look, a deeper look into how to live that balanced life I'd low-key been in pursuit of chasing this whole time. I started paying more attention to my health, to my food consumption. I started paying more attention to my body because, as my friend Chocolaka would say, the human body is the best biofeedback system. I started learning its signals for happiness and its signals for distress. And like most people during the lockdown, I also simultaneously became a little bit worried because as I learned more about my body, I wanted to feed it the right things. Basic food supplies, it was a struggle to get. Basic personal supplies like sanitary pads, towels, tampons, it was disappearing. Because from the moment that lockdown was announced, people went into stores and them clear like they went ham. Personally, I had a small stockpile of tampons already, but even then, I remember thinking, so when this one finishing, what's going to happen? How's it going to be like? Is this sustainable? Thankfully, the more lockdown continued, we were able to get access to stores somewhat. We could find some products somewhat, but prices kept going up somewhat. Yeah, it made me very concerned. Why? Because the entertainment industry was not working. I had limited funds that I had access to. And if I wasn't earning very much, how can I continue to sustain constantly rising prices? Somebody shout hallelujah. Then I also thought, if this is me, the top percentile, in the country. How are women in a worse financial position coping? This was therefore the first time I started thinking very seriously about trying reusable and sustainable menstrual care options. I'm gonna get to that story. The second time I started thinking about this was when there was a story that went viral about some man that was caught in Abuja stealing used sanitary pad from inside waste bin that somebody wrapped up. I was shook. And apparently this is not the first, second, or third, or last time that's happened. So I thought, heck no, let me be in control of my flow. Menstrual cups are the way to go. Reclaim NG, a brand focused on feminine care and wellness. They had just started their own line of period cups or menstrual cups at the time. So I reached out to them. I was like, yo, I want to try this. Lockdown is the best time to do it. And I tried it and I haven't looked back since. It was from that moment I truly became a womb and period awareness advocate. And I will continue to advocate. Anybody who knows me personally knows this by now. Every time it's my time of the month, everybody knows. So why do I call it being a womb advocate? Why do I talk about being a period awareness advocate? Well, first of all, we are living in a world with constantly evolving pronouns and the rules for how to address people. So I wanted to be clear that when I say womb advocate, I'm talking about an advocate specifically to humans who are womb bearers. Humans who were born with the ability to conceive and bring life into this world. That is to whom I am speaking, to women or womb men, if you please. All right? That's how it's gonna be like. Because of this ability and also this gift, we are also faced with the flip side of it, a unique set of realities in how we have to live. Our lives, therefore, revolve very much around each month, the state of our womb. Whether you intend to use it or not, every month, the lining of our womb sheds. We begin again. This has real emotional impact. It has real mental and financial implications for every single woman. Because at the end of the day, if as a woman your womb is not healthy, if we are unable to manage this monthly menstrual cycle, it can lead to disease. And not just disease, it has disastrous implications for the individual as well as the family unit and the society at large. Because a society where the women are not cared for, or more, no road for you. So, period poverty is what we call this sort of situation, all right? Period poverty essentially refers to the lack of access to menstrual hygiene products. It also refers to the lack of access to adequate sanitation facilities for menstrual health. And it also refers to the lack of access to menstrual health education, all right? Now, this lack of access to products, facilities, and education is usually due to financial constraints. And a lot of these financial constraints, in Nigeria, yeah. We live in a place where a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of girls are struggling to afford or to even have access to the necessary resources to manage their menstrual cycle in a safe and in a dignified manner. Let me run that back so you understand what I'm talking about real quick, all right? I'm telling you that a number of women and girls are unable to manage their menstrual cycle in a safe and dignified manner. It's not okay. It's not all right. I know we like to joke about a lot of things, but there are too many women and girls in Nigeria who are living like this. Because think about it, how many times have you felt anxious about finding a place to safely change? How many times? Without risk of infection, you enter public toilet, you're like, Jesus, it's better for you to not try it. I have felt that. I felt that when I'm stepping out, like driving your car in a car, maybe, where's the public toilet you're going to? I felt that sometimes as an actor on film sets, where the toilets are in such a horrendous state that even the men don't use the toilet. They just go outside, they stand outside, and they pee outside. You've seen the boys. They are facing traffic these days to do their business. Women don't have that luxury. And then you add the complication of bleeding monthly. Where are you going to change safely without risk of infection? Where are you going to find clean water to wash? As women, we've all considered this way too many times. I mean, how many times have you dealt with, for example, even a new premenstrual post-menstrual or during menstrual cycle symptom, you did not know what was happening. You did not know where it was coming from. You didn't know. And it took you talking to another woman, to sharing, to find that out. And this is for the guys too. How many times, guys, have you casually joked about some woman in your office, some man you just come across being irrational because I beg, be like, that one day our period safe. No mind down. It's not funny. It's not funny. You're laughing because you don't understand how significant the impact is on the lives of those affected. You don't get it, and I don't blame you. They told girls not to talk about it in front of you. Essentially, half your population has inadequate facilities at schools. And what that means is that a number of girls simply will start missing out on their education. They start falling behind on their studies. When they talk about being in too much pain to show up to work or to show up to the office, people are like, oh, so that other woman, not all women are the same. And you would know that if you were educated about menstrual health and hygiene. We all deserve the right to be able to manage our menstrual cycle in a safe and dignified manner. And there's been too much shame associated with this time of the month for women. Too much stigma, too much feelings of isolation. There are so many women that are struggling with the real financial implications, the cost of pads. Depending on how heavy your flow is, you're having to fork out how many packs. And for women who simply just cannot afford it because they have to choose between eating and handling their menstrual cycle, they're choosing non-hygienic alternatives. This in turn is affecting their health, so health expenses are going up. This in turn is affecting their ability to work, so it's limiting their economic opportunities. It's not the real life impact that this has, and it will affect the family. Because that's when husbands are saying, you are smelling somehow. I don't like it. Oh, she doesn't want to have sex, she doesn't want to touch. Whoa. So I'm here in this video speaking openly and candidly to both men and women alike, so that all of us can strive to share openly and comprehensively information about menstrual health and hygiene. I want us all to commit to that. I want us to commit to educating one another about period health and hygiene. I want us to commit and push to strive to make menstrual health hygiene products more affordable, more accessible, more sustainable for women in Nigeria. And I want us to conclusively advocate for the support of and implementation of policies in schools, in states, across the country that can help to alleviate the financial burden faced by women in Nigeria. So if you're thinking about, how can we make gender equity a real thing? This is a very real and tangible way to ensure access to menstrual products. And because it supports women's economic empowerment. This is real. This is simple. This is easy. This is how we will help create a more inclusive and more equitable society. So I'm calling out to you. I want you to commit to helping us. Come join in the conversations. Put your comments below, give us your details, send us emails, reach out to the social media platforms that I'm going to put up in this video. Let us know how you are committing to making menstruation and menstrual health education a common fact by 2030. Let's all get involved. This is me reaching out to all the companies to say, if you want to help gender equity, you want to make things equitable for men and women, then help. Get involved, partner. Let's get as many sustainable period products. We're talking about discs, reusable pads, reusable tampons. Let's do this for people. Maybe not reusable tampons, ew, that's gross. You don't want to reuse a tampon, but reusable pads, yes. Menstrual cups, yes. Menstrual discs, yes. How can you sponsor for schools, for women communities, for the IDP camps that we have around? There's so many women around us that we can help. Reach out if you want to help and commit to that help today. I'm Folu Storms. And as always, I thank you for your time and attention.